Hey guys, it's Koren. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so we can get this out to more viewers. So in this video, I want to give some tips on how to put Neville Goddard's principles into action. If you have been watching my videos over the last week, you will see that I have been posting some quotes, doing some short videos that are 1 or 2 minutes long. And this video is all about how do we put those principles into action. So a couple of the quotes that we have shared, that I've shared on this channel. One is to change the conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Do not try to change people. They are only messengers telling you who you are. The conception of yourself, who you believe you are, what you believe you have, how you believe that people treat you, that is your self-concept. And what I've learned from Neville Goddard is that what we're conscious of being, what we are aware of having, that is what naturally manifests. Manifestation is very natural and effortless. It is just who we are, how things work. So the real question is, how do I change the conception of myself? How do I change who I believe I am? Because once you do that, then you are going to manifest what that person is or has. So we'll get into that in a second. The other quote that lends to this concept of our consciousness manifesting is, he says, stop trying to change the world since it is only a mirror. Man's attempt to change the world is by force is fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing his face. Leave the mirror alone and change your face. Leave the word alone and change your concepts of yourself. The reflection will then be satisfactory. So we're changing the concept of ourselves. We're changing who we are conscious of being. Here's another quote that I've read that illustrates it. Man moves in a world that is nothing more or less than his consciousness objectified. This is another one that I absolutely love. For life makes no mistakes and always gives man that which he gives himself first. What we give ourselves first, what we conceive ourselves to be, whatever it is that we believe is or we believe we have, that is what the world reflects. This is another one that really sparked me from doing Neville quotes. It's this one right here. If you judge after appearances, you will continue to be enslaved by the evidence of your senses. If you judge after appearances, you will continue to be enslaved by the evidence of your senses. So if we only make our judgments by what we see that's already manifested in the physical world, we're stuck in that. And we're not just limited to what we see or the circumstances that we see. And I will put all of these quotes in the description. I just wanted to read one more before I get into how to apply them. Let's see. Only as one is willing to give up his present limitations and identity can he become that which he desires to be. Only when one is willing to give up his present limitations and identity can he become that which he wants to be. So those are some of the Neville quotes. But the question that I have sometimes and that other people have is, okay, our thoughts are creating our reality. Who we believe we are is what is manifesting. But how do I change my beliefs? How do I change my consciousness? How do I impress my subconscious mind? And I wanted to share some techniques that I use that I've either learned from Neville Goddard or adopted throughout my life, just studying this kind of work from other teachers. I think my first teacher and work that was similar to Neville, I would say, would be reading Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. That really got me out of poverty onto a path of success. But As it relates to Neville, the reason why I became fascinated with this author is because he simplifies it to our consciousness. What we are conscious of being, what we are aware of being is what is manifesting. And so it's not so much about always taking these hard actions, but assuming and acting from and thinking from that state. So the first thing that I do is I get my goal, my vision, my new reality. And the way I see it is that we're kind of stuck. We're kind of stuck in the reality of us on a particular subject. So I'm going to give you a very personal subject. It's not about money or relationships. Not everything I want to manifest has to do with those things. Sometimes I just want to be happy in my life. I want to wake up every day and I want to just be happy. You know, I am a single mom. I have 2 kids and I also have 2 nephews that I'm raising that range from the age of 11 and 22. And I want my house to be clean and I want the kids to take care of their room and help out with the chores. But I tend to get into the consciousness of no one ever gets their chores done. No one put the dishes away. And I just keep manifesting over and over that the house is messy. And all I want is a clean, beautiful house. I want to wake up. I want the house to be clean. I want the kids to be active. And I want them to do what they need to do to live a better life. So if my goal is to have a clean, beautiful life, a clean, beautiful house, but I keep fighting with my kids that they don't do this and they don't do that, and then I'm going to keep manifesting what I'm conscious of. That's just one small example. Suppose you want to manifest a specific person or a relationship back that you were previously in. So we're going to do this example on a specific person because I have heard from a lot of people that that's what you want to manifest is a specific person. So first step is to identify what is the goal, what is the vision, what's your new reality. And we're just going to put SP down here because why not? Why not just focus on a specific area? So if this is your goal, this is what I would do to manifest anything, specific person. Ooh, my earbud. The first thing I would do is I would write down my goal. I would script out this story of how I want my life to be in that specific area. Then, okay, so we're going to script it. We're going to write the new story. Okay? The reason is we need something to identify with. When I wake up and I see that the house is a mess, or when you wake up and you didn't get that text message from the person that you love, you are identifying with that old you, and it's easy to do because it's bam right there in your face. It doesn't have to be easy to do. As Neville says, we don't have to be enslaved by the senses. We need to make our inner world as real as the outer world because the inner world is fluid and is infinite. And the inner world is so much more powerful because ultimately it is the inner world that is creating the outer world. And when we identify with this old circumstances, we're regurgitating, we're keeping on recreating that old world. But you can script out a new story and identify with it. Having technical difficulties, sorry. That's the first thing I do. I script out the new story because I want to have something else to focus on. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And we are energetic beings and we are powerful. You can't see the energy, but you can feel the energy, okay? So you want to script out your new story. Along with this story, I'm going to put down affirmations. Because, and honestly, affirmations and conversations, to me, they're very similar. They're like the same. They go hand in hand. When you are talking to yourself in your head, like we all do, you are affirming. It's an affirmation. But it should be based on a new story. So if the goal is to have a specific person, write out your new story. So a new story might be, I am so freaking happy and thankful now that my man and I are back together and we are so head over heels in love with each other, and we are doing this and we're doing that. Whatever it is that you want. It might be, I am so happy and thankful now that the woman that I am looking for is now here and a part of my life. I'm so happy that she agreed to marry me, and I'm so looking forward to spending the rest of our life together. Whatever it is that your new story is. In your new story, there are going to be a couple affirmations in there. I'm so happy that we're back together. It feels so good that they're texting me every single day. I love that I'm the center of attention. So your new story is going to have some affirmations, and these affirmations are what you want to be talking to yourself about. Okay? The next thing that I would do, this is huge for me, okay? I call, feel it in your heart. This also goes to what I believe Neville was talking about, claim it. And for me, it's personal identity and it's self-acceptance all wrapped up in this feeling in his heart. And I'll tell you the practice that I do in just a moment. Claim it, accept it, identify with it. So, what's that look like? Simple, really, really simple. Your goal is to have your specific person. You got a brand new story. You guys are texting each other. You love that you're always going out on romantic dates. You're so happy that you guys are planning your wedding right now, or you're, I don't know what stage you are in your relationship or what you're looking to accomplish, but whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish, go to the end that it's already done. It may just be that you want to go study with this person. You may not want to be trying to get married all right now. You might just want to be in this happy monogamous relationship where you guys are head over heels and you're exclusive and you are texting them back and forth and they just love seeing your face and looking into their eyes. So feeling it and claiming it is where I like to close my eyes, because I want to shut off this outside world, and off my senses, and I want to pull all my energy inward. Okay, so this is the practice that I do, and it's very important because it helps me be. It helps me be. I'm not trying. I'm not going to. I'm not waiting. I am literally experiencing it in present tense reality right now. You want to experience your goal, your future, your vision, whatever it is that your new reality is. You want to experience as real in the present tense moment, okay? I go within. I take a few deep breaths. Sometimes prior to going within, I'll read myself my story, or I'll have 3 or 4 affirmations that I'm saying to myself in my mind. I am so happy that we are back together. It feels so good to be in his arms. I love that he is head over heels with me. I love that we are going on wonderful romantic dates. It feels so good. I'm so happy now that everything is perfect. And I will repeat them over and over in my head, and I feel this swelling, this energy, filling my heart. That to me is the consciousness, what I'm conscious of being, because I'm not experiencing the lack of what I want no longer. And the moment that I go within my heart and I feel it in my heart, in your heart, you are experiencing that reality. It is real. It is real. I'm so happy that everything in my life is perfect. I'm so happy that everything is exactly what I want it to be. I'm so happy that we are back together. It feels so good that everything in my life is the way that I want it to be. Whatever your goal is, script it out and have some affirmations about it, and then go and feel it within your heart. You want to do this multiple times a day because you want to take your body from feeling the consciousness of the lack to constantly experiencing the consciousness of having. That's how I feel it real. That's how I change my consciousness. I change who I believe I am and what I believe I have the most by scripting and by claiming it in my heart and feeling it in my heart. Now, the next thing I have written down here, if you can read that, is identifying with it. When you come out of that moment of meditation, of claiming it and feeling it, do not identify with what you see here, because that is old news, okay? That's not real. That's old news. What's real is what I claim. What's real is what I declare, because I am God, okay? So next thing I'm going to share with you that I do as a regular practice is called revision. So after you have gone out and you have claimed what you want within, and you come out to the external world and say you see something that is the opposite of this, we're going to revise. We're going to revise that moment on the spot. Suppose you were expecting a message and you didn't get the message from your specific person, and you look at your phone and go, oh, they're texting me right now. They're always texting me. They are always sending me these wonderful, wonderful messages. And then you just affirm, I'm so happy that we're back together. It feels so good that my man is head over heels in love with me. I love that everything in my life is perfect. It feels so good that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. You revise on the spot. And do you know why? Because that you just saw is not real. It doesn't exist anymore, because you are the creator. You create your reality, and you have already created something real. Okay? So you keep identifying with your new vision, your new story. You want to make this the most real thing in your life. That has to be the most real thing, because our inner world is what reflects back out here. So if you use all your power and feed into the old circumstances, that's going to go keep reflecting. You have to have the discipline, the wherewithal to accept your power and to apply it, okay? You got to apply it. You got to apply it. You just can't talk about it. You got to be about it, okay? And don't accept it. Revise that right on the spot. Bam, okay? Now, next thing I want to talk about is something that I absolutely love. Inner conversations. Whether anyone wants to admit it or not, we're always having inner conversations with ourselves. We're always talking to ourselves in our mind. I discovered the power of my inner conversations way before I ever met Neville Goddard through his words. And that was working for a company that I loved, but I had some situations going on that weren't great, and I realized that I kept reviewing them in my head over and over and over. And when I would go into work, I'd be like, see, I knew they were going to act like this. See, I told you they were an asshole. See, and I would constantly just regurgitate what conversations I was having in my head. What I learned about Neville Goddard, this is why I'm really fascinated with his work, is that our mind is constantly communicating with other minds. How? I don't know, but I do know it's true through my own personal experience. We operate through telepathy. The thoughts that we give out, they vibrate. Somehow they vibrate. And other people pick up on their subconscious is picking up on your subconscious thoughts with them. And so this thing with inner conversations, I use it a couple different ways. I use it in the aspect of, one, I will have a conversation with a person, and I will have a conversation with myself, and I'll revise in my head all the time, which I guess is another conversation with myself and with people. So on a specific person, I had this work literally like in a day. And what I do, this really works. You have a conversation in your mind with the person that it is that you want to talk to. So this is how the inner conversations work. And I have had instant success with this. Same thing you want to do is you want to close your eyes, you want to go within, and you want to take a few deep breaths. The purpose of this is cutting off your senses and pulling all your energy into the inner world. Shout their name in your mind so that you can talk to them and grab their attention, okay? And connect with their consciousness. So, for example, if I wanted to talk with my specific person, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to say their name 3, 4, 5 times in my mind. After I mentally shout their name, I bring their face to my attention, and in my mind, all this has happened in my mind, and I hear them respond to me. Yes, Koren. And I have the conversation with them. If you have any unresolved issues in your relationship, I suggest you apologize. I suggest you talk to them. I suggest you have them apologize to you, have them tell you that they forgive you or you forgive them. Whatever is personal to your specific relationship, have that quick conversation, clear the air, and affirm what it is that you want them to be saying to you. So, for example, say they were a jerk, say they cheated on you, or say they maybe they are interested in you, but they don't give you the type of attention that you want. Hear them say to you, you're the only one that I want. I love being with you. You're so beautiful. I am so madly in love with you. I can't wait to see you. I'm calling you right now. I'm texting you every day. You are a queen. You are a king. You are a goddess. You are the love of my life. Have them affirm to you what you want them to say. Everybody's circumstance is different. So write down, script. This is why we start with scripting and affirmations, is because when you get into your inner conversations and feeling things in your heart, you need something else to focus on. You need to have a new story. Okay, so create that in your mind the way that you want it to be. Whatever conversations you want them to tell you, is your world. There's no limit in your mind. You can have anything they want. You can have them on their hands and knees begging for your forgiveness and telling them, I don't know what happened. I don't know, but everything in my life has been terrible since you left, and I only want to be with you. Whatever it is that you want, okay? So that's one way that I use inner conversations. This I take a good 10 minutes to do. I take a 10 minutes, I make sure that my mind is happy and positive, and that is why I'm writing out a new story and I'm reading it before I go into my inner conversation, so that my thoughts are only about my new story. I'm not thinking about, oh, this is never going to work and blah, blah, blah. No. If you don't believe that you create your new reality, then go read some books or just go keep living whatever life you're living. I already know that I create my reality for good, for bad, whatever the case may be. So our goal here is to point our mind in the direction of where we want to go repeatedly until the old situation dissolves itself. So that's that. Have those inner conversations with them a couple times a day. I recommend at least 2 to 3 times a day. Talk to them. Now, next inner conversation I have goes into revision. Say you want them to be texting you and calling you all the time. But when you look at your phone, you feel like this emptiness of like, oh, I told you that they don't care. I just wish they would text me. Catch yourself and revise on the spot. Pick up your phone and just imagine, oh, they are always texting me. They are always calling me. I am the love of their life. Have that conversation and revise it. Now, there's 2 other ways that I use revision that is super powerful. The next way, say you have a scenario when you expect to see this person, right? Or when you normally would, but you don't. And so there you feel like you're missing something. Your consciousness, okay? We're changing our consciousness. Your consciousness feels a state of lack. Change it. Go in your mind's eye and visualize that they pulled up, you were happy to see them, and have a conversation about it. Oh, it was so nice seeing so-and-so. It was so great that they were in my life. So you're kind of adding revision and inner conversations at once. Another way I use inner conversation, some people refer to it as a rampage technique. That's basically where you speak out loud with power, with authority, with conviction, and declare that everything is the way that you want it to be. I do this in the car when I'm driving somewhere because I have the car all to myself, and I just start talking to myself like the way everything's the way everything's the way I want it to be. So I will have the conversation, and it changes my mood, changes my consciousness, it changes the way I feel, and I will just go on a rampage. I am so happy that everything has worked out perfectly. I love that everything in my life is exactly the way that I want it to be, including that my new business is totally successful, including that my man is head over heels and taking care of me, and we are living happily ever after, including my kids being so responsible. I love that they appreciate everything that I do for them. It feels so good that they are just growing and maturing and taking care of things, and I am so happy that they have gotten more active, and it feels so. You go on rampage about this specific subject in your life, and you just express the gratitude for it. For me, gratitude is like the grandfather of creation, because when you are in a state of feeling appreciative and grateful, it means it's already done. And how do we feel when it's already done? We're like, shit, it's done. It's done. I got everything the way I want it to be. And it's just this state of joy and happiness. So you can experience that happiness now. And to go back to one of Neville quotes, and he says, if you continue to focus on the exterior world, you will always be enslaved to the exterior world. He uses senses. He says, if you judge after your appearances, you will continue to be enslaved by your senses. Now, if you were judging by your senses, you wouldn't be rejoicing. So that's why we're changing our consciousness. We are identifying with our new story, and we're not being enslaved anymore. We're no longer enslaved. We are allowed to identify with the way that we want our life to be. We can be totally happy about it because we create our reality from what we believe we are is manifested in the external world. And he says that in another one of his quotes about being the mirror. He says, there's a couple of them where he says it, like, change your conception of yourself and you would automatically change the world in which you live. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe where your attention goes. When you assume the feeling of your new story, that your specific person in your relationship is exactly the way you want it to be, where does your attention go? It doesn't go, oh, life sucks, woe is me. It goes, yes, everything is wonderful. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go take care of that. So you want to act as if everything is the way that you want it to be, but not on like some falsity on, you've created it within, so it is real. And it's, give yourself that permission. It's okay to be happy about it. It's okay to think from that state. Neville makes another distinction about thinking of concepts versus thinking from them. When you have it, when you claim it, when you know it, it's done. It's done. It's no longer a wish because you saw it. Because you saw it, you're the God of your reality, because you said so, because you created it. So that's what I do to apply Neville's teachings. I create my new story or my new vision on that subject. And in the morning, okay, this is important. This is very important. In the morning when I wake up, we all do. This is what I try to do, and this is what I keep going back to. I don't want to get on my phone, and I don't want to think about any problems or anything that are unresolved. I read my news story, okay? So the more that you can wake up and go right into identifying it, it's like, bam, that's where we are. Now, I have days where I wake up and I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, okay, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Who are we? Okay, we're the gods of our reality. We create the life that we want to live. What are you choosing? We get to choose. What are we choosing? So I remind myself as much as it takes so that I can feel that shift and I am reminded of what it is that I desire. The morning time for me is critical because it sets the tone. I get up. I do a meditation where I just kind of like quiet my mind completely. I read my affirmations to myself. or I have them on a little recorder and I play them, you know, as I'm still in that drowsy state, and I just kind of like bob in and out of consciousness listening to them. The other time of the day, which I'm sure you all know, is at night before you go to bed. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been listening to my recording of affirmations, and I've been laying in my bed before I go to sleep saying, this is my new favorite affirmation: I'm so happy and thankful now that everything in my life is exactly the way that I want it to be, including my man and I back together, including my business thriving, selling 10 digital products every single day, fully booked with my personal chef, including my kids being so responsible, including everyone being so appreciative of all the things that I do, including being loved, and, you know, and so I have things, you know, that are important to me. Being happy is important. Feeling like everyone in my household is contributing is important. Being able to have a successful business where I can provide for my family. Rebuilding a relationship that I kind of like broke, but not anymore because everything's perfect and everything's working out beautifully. But just, I go to that state in the morning and I go to it in the afternoon, and then I do it midday at least once or twice a day. It only takes me 5 or 10 minutes to pull out my phone and read my affirmations. I write in my journal a lot, so sometimes if I write something that I really want to repeat, I'll take a picture of it. Also on my iPhone, I have this note section, and I have money affirmations, I have life affirmations, and usually when I'm on my phone, I automatically go to social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and instead of giving all of those people my energy, I catch myself and I go, I'm gonna just read my affirmations in my head. I got this 10 minutes, I'm sitting here, I read them to myself. I read my story to myself. I read my affirmations to myself. I wanna keep identifying with the way that I am becoming versus the old version of me. And it works. I literally brought my SP back into my life within a day. It's a weird story. It's a long story. It's a weird story. I won't get into it right now. But after sitting there talking to him and having a mental conversation, he literally he started texting me back. And I know that I was the one that broke off that relationship, and I was the one that was unappreciative of what we had, just due to my own consciousness and issues that I had in my life at the time. But my point is this: the stuff works 100% of the time because it's just the way that the world works. And if you can change your consciousness and your conception of yourself, that is what's going to be reflected into your reality. So that's what I have. I'm going to copy and paste these Neville quotes and put them in a description. These are just some of the ones that like inspire me. I read in the morning, and then I go to the gym, and then I come back and brew some coffee, and then I get started on my day, you know, whether it's a day that I have clients, a day that I'm filming. So yeah, I hope this helps. Sorry if it was longer than usual, but I really hope that you guys can take away 1 or 2 practices that help you stay in that state of claiming your desires, of creating the consciousness of what you want and seeing that reflected in the outside world. Morning, noon, night, remind yourself of what is, and just keep identifying it, accepting it, and claiming it. And most importantly, go within and feel that in your heart. So please be sure to comment down below action, because we are taking action with all these Neville Goddard techniques. I love you. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will catch you in the next video.